In this travel guide, I'm going to tell you the worst mistake that people make when booking their trip to Thailand. This mistake leaves people feeling more worn out than when they started the trip, spending most of their time in airports and bus stations, and never getting to experience all the things that make Thailand great. The worst part is, it's easily avoidable by sticking to a few simple rules when planning your trip. Now let's take a look at a real sample itinerary that I've seen online, and I want you to tell me what's the problem with it. 2 nights in Bangkok. Fly to Chiang Mai, spend 2 nights in Chiang Mai. 2 nights in Chiang Rai. Back to Chiang Mai for 1 night. Make the 3-hour drive to Pai. Spend 1 night in Pai, head back to Chiang Mai for 1 night. Fly to Phuket, spend 2 nights on Kata Beach. Sail to Koh Phi Phi, spend 1 night on the island before heading to Krabi. Spend 2 nights in Ao Nang on Wan and Riley Beach. Catch a bus to the other side of the country, hop on a boat to Koh Samui, spend 3 nights there before hopping on another boat to Koh Phangan for 2 nights. Hop on another boat back to the mainland before catching a bus to Bangkok, where they'll spend 1 final night before catching a flight back home. Have you figured out what the problem is yet? Of course, it's trying to see and do too much on your trip to Thailand and not actually enjoying the trip. Now, this is a real itinerary that I saw someone post. I'm in a lot of Thailand travel groups and I see this mistake all the time. Now, I kind of understand the compulsion to try and do this. Each of these places on that list has a lot to offer, and they're definitely worth visiting. However, it's impossible to try and do it all on one trip unless you're staying here for months and months at a time. So you just kind of got to accept it and enjoy what you can from the places you do visit. Otherwise, you're just going to become an expert in the airports and bus stations of Thailand. Luckily, I've got 6 tips to help you avoid this kind of itinerary, and then I'll give you a sample itinerary of my own at the end. I actually work with people to help them plan their trips to Thailand. If you would like to plan your trip to Thailand, please get in touch with me through my website, jj-adventures.online. We'll help you find the best hotels, tell you the best things to do, and connect you with local guides and experts to make sure you have the best trip possible. If that sounds like something you're interested in, get in touch through my website. If not, I still want to help you out, so I'm going to give you 6 tips here to help you plan your trip. Tip 1, make sure to spend at least 2 full days in one place, otherwise the trip is unlikely to be worth it. If you're planning on visiting places like Koh Phangan or Chiang Rai, these places take quite a long time to get to, and if you're not spending at least 2 full days there, it's just not really going to be worth it. The person in this itinerary spent 2 nights in some places, but that means it's just 1 full day because they were having to get up the next morning or in the next midday and go to the next place. So I would try and spend at least 2 full nights. That might mean 3 nights in a hotel there, but it could just mean 2 nights if you arrive in the early morning or leave in the late evening. But definitely try and spend at least 2 full days in one place. Tip 2, know why you are traveling to a certain place. If a journey requires you to take all your luggage to a certain place, this is a lot of hassle. And if you don't know why you're doing it, then there seems to be no point to do it. For example, if you want to visit Chiang Rai and you really want to see the temples of Chiang Rai, they can't be visited elsewhere. That makes sense to me. You can go and do that. However, if you're going to do it to go visit an elephant sanctuary, that could be done in Chiang Mai, and you don't actually need to go there just to go visit that elephant sanctuary. Tip 3, use Chiang Mai as a base to explore the north. This is especially true if this is your first trip to Thailand. When most people talk about visiting northern Thailand, they're really talking about visiting Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is the biggest city in northern Thailand, and this is a great place to explore the region from. Now, there are other places that you can't get to from Chiang Mai very easily, like Loei province or Nan province. However, most people will only visit these on their 3rd or 4th visit to Thailand, and most people are mainly talking about Chiang Mai. Why not stay in Chiang Mai, spend 5-6 nights there, but use it as a base to explore other places? There are plenty of places to explore. For example, Mae Kampong, Chiang Dao, and Doi Inthanon are places all within driving distance for 1 day of Chiang Mai. So you can stay in the hotel in Chiang Mai, yet visit these other places to explore from. Tip 4, choose either the Andaman Sea, i.e. Phuket, Krabi, Koh Phi Phi, and Koh Lanta, or the Gulf of Thailand, Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao. Do not try to visit both. This is the one that confuses me the most. It really confuses me how people can be sat on a beautiful tropical paradise-like beach and then think, wow, I wonder what the beaches are like 300 miles away from here. It's all sand and sea, so you may as well enjoy it where you are. I don't understand the need to get on a bus to go to the other side of the country to see what the beaches are like there. There's also a lot to discover on either side you choose. For example, if you're on the Andaman Sea side, that's 4 places. Phuket is a huge island. You can move around Phuket. You could spend weeks in Phuket. Koh Phi Phi, Koh Lanta, and Krabi are all fascinating places to explore. You don't need to go further. Alternatively, if you're on the other side, Samui is a huge island. Phangan is a huge island. Koh Tao is a smaller island. However, that's still 3 places you can explore. You can spend weeks there. Similarly, tip 5, if you do want to change your scenery, Finding a new part of the city you're in can completely change your experience. For example, if you're staying in Chiang Mai Old Town, but you feel like you want to freshen things up, why not stay somewhere just a little bit outside the city? This is much better than getting on a bus for 2 or 3 hours to go to another city. Why not just go somewhere else in that city and it'll be a completely different experience? Similarly, if you're in somewhere like Phuket and you're staying on Cat Beach and you think it's a bit too touristy, there are many, many other beaches to explore in Phuket. Why not go to one of those beaches and see what it's like there? You'll get a completely different experience. You do not need to get on a bus or a plane. Tip 6, sometimes you don't even need to leave the hotel. Thailand has some very, very, very nice hotels. Most of these hotels you would not be able to afford in your home country, so why not splash out a little bit and spend some time in the hotel? There are some amazing hotels with private beaches. There are some hotels with private swimming pools, jacuzzis, all with amazing views, with amazing nature. Why not take advantage of this and just stay in the hotel? You'll have a great time and you don't need to move around. If you would like help trying to find some of these amazing hotels, get in touch with me, we can help you find them. Now that we've taken a look at these top tips, let's take a look at a sample itinerary that is much more realistic and enjoyable of a trip. Let's start with 3 days in Bangkok. Now, you can definitely spend a lot longer in Bangkok. I've been living here for about 5 years and I'm still exploring and finding new things. However, that's the whole point of this video, is that you don't need to spend 5 years in Bangkok. 3 days is enough to see the best of the temples, eat some of the best street food in the world, take a cruise on the Chao Phraya River, whatever you want to get from your trip to Bangkok, which is a huge city. You can do the main things that you want to do in Bangkok in 3 days. After 3 days in Bangkok, I would fly to Chiang Mai and spend about 5 days in Chiang Mai. Like I said earlier, I would use it as a base to explore other places. I would spend 1 day exploring the Old Town in the center of Chiang Mai and maybe some of the markets. I'd go to Doi Satep to see some of the temples up on the mountain. I would do a day trip to Doi Inthanon where you'd explore some of the nature and you get to see some of the biggest mountains in Thailand. I would spend another day exploring the town and the river area. And I would maybe do 1 more day trip, perhaps to Chiang Dao or Mae Kampong. Then I'd fly to Phuket for 5 days where I'd spend a lot of time on the beach just chilling. I'd try and get a nice hotel so that I wouldn't have to leave it too often. I'd also see the Big Buddha, eat some of the street food in the old town, and I would explore the island to see what the best beaches were. Then, if I had time, I would spend 3 nights in Krabi, where I would spend a day exploring Anang. I would maybe explore Riley Beach, do a boat trip, but also just spend some time relaxing on the beach. So overall, this itinerary lasts 16 days, and that was 3 days in Bangkok, 5 days Chiang Mai, 5 days Phuket, and 3 days in Krabi. This itinerary should allow you for plenty of time to actually enjoy Thailand. You will get to see some of the highlights. Chiang Mai, Bangkok, Phuket, and Krabi are great places to explore. However, you're not going to be worn out and run down from traveling around the country. If you found this video useful, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to my channel. I try to make lots of useful Thailand travel videos to help you plan your trip. How about checking out one of my travel guides for 2 of the places on my list, the top 10 things to do in Phuket and the top 10 things to do in Chiang Mai.